All right, so here with the main man himself, Hafeez. Okay, so a little bit about Hafeez. Hafeez, he's one of the Man United fans in our little WhatsApp group. He's probably one of the seen as one of the controversial ones within the group. But to be fair to him, a lot of what he said has come to fruition. He has spoke the truth. We'll get onto that in a bit. But Hafeez, first question to you, bro. So obviously you're a Man United fan and you're from Birmingham. What does being a Man United fan from Birmingham mean to you?
Well, it means a lot of stick of a lot of people, support your local club and all that kind of talk you normally get when you talk to people. When you say you support Man U and, you get the line of, why don't you support Birmingham? Why don't you support West Brom? And all that malarkey. But, I mean, being a Man U fan from Birmingham is actually harder than you think. I mean, if you want to go to a game, it's not just pop around, down the road to your local team stadium. You got to
Yeah.
take the full day, got to travel down and go watch the match to travel back down. So actually, probably being a fan further away is probably shows your support and love more than somebody that's a bit more local. But hey, that's just my opinion.
If you did have to pick a team from the Midlands, though, is there a team that you've got like a fondness towards, or not bothered either way?
Probably just slightly more towards West Brom,
Yeah.
only because when I was younger, I used to go to 1-2 games. They were a bit more local, and my dad always used to support West Brom because he used to live closer to there. So probably lead more towards them than anybody else.
Okay, cool. And for people that don't know, obviously Eddie, who's always on the show himself, he's your brother, a deal who's been on once. So was it Eddie who got you into Man United, or was it a natural progression, or what? How did you end up supporting United?
It started from my dad. My dad supported United. Big United fan. My dad was. Then obviously Eddie got into it. Obviously he's the oldest, so then it passed on to me. And then I said, well, once that love of United's in the house, it's infectious. It spreads to everyone.
Fair enough, mate. Fair enough. Okay, so let's dive straight into it, mate. So this season,
Yeah.
and not just talking about our WhatsApp group, but in general, you was probably one of the main people, or one of the only few people that I know that fully backed our to the point of like when we were like 14th, 15th, fell out the Champions League. You was one of the positive ones that was saying, look, back him. We a couple of wins and we'll be in the title race. If you said that to most Man United fans, they'd probably think you were bonkers. But now here we are, top of the league, and something that you predicted 2-3 months ago is actually happening. So, what gave you that belief that one, Ole was the right man, and that we could have ever been in a title race?
It's a couple of things. One of the first things is I remember Sir Alex Ferguson's final speech at Old Trafford when he said, "Stand by your manager."
Mhm.
He didn't say, "Stand by your manager when we're top of the league and we're winning trophies." He said, "Stand by your manager, full stop."
Yeah.
So Ollie needed the backing, he needed the support. Things weren't going that well, especially at the start of the season. I remember that after that 6-1 defeat to Tottenham, I mean, everyone was low, the fan base was low. Even though I was trying to inject that positivity, deep down I was thinking, oh, we're in a bad position, we're in a tough position. But there's so many fickle fans out there. People need to take a step back and look at the bigger picture here. Ollie is not just here for like how Jose was or Van Gaal, a 1-2 year stint, probably grab a trophy and get out. He was rebuilding from the bottom to get us back to the top.
Mhm.
He was getting rid of a lot of players who were just not pulling their weight. I'll name some of the players. I see other people may have different opinions, but players like Jones, Smalling, Pereira, Lingard, these guys are not Man United level. Some of them are decent, and the last couple of years, they're putting decent performances, but for us to win titles, they are just not good enough. So when Ali, I mean, I remember, I was looking at some of the scores from last year, just having a look, and one of the games, I think we were playing Lingard, Pereira, and McTominay in midfield. That's not going to win you titles.
Mhm.
Simple as. And Ollie had to rebuild that from
Yeah.
scratch. And I knew it will be one of those, we'll have to take a step or two back before we start moving forward. Over the last year and a half was the step or two back. Now we're seeing the steps forward. And I knew we just had to ride that rough patch to get to hopefully a better place than we're in now.
So when you like use the Fergie speech, like back your
Mhm.
manager, have you was you always that passionate in terms of did you think we should have backed Moyes? Do you think we should have stuck with Jose or LVG, or do you think Are you just using that quote now for Ale? Like, did you always feel that way about previous managers as well, or?
And this is me being honest, I felt like that way with every manager. Probably the only exception I didn't feel that way was Mourinho, because I thought in the first place he shouldn't have come to Old Trafford. He is a world-class manager. He is probably one of the best. But the way he is, the way he conducts himself, and his style, I don't feel suits Man United, which I always thought wouldn't be a good fix. He's very outspoken. I mean, look what's going on with the board. People don't talk about the board now because Solskjaer's keeping that behind the curtains. You don't need to be seen in the media. He'll work with the board to get the players he wants. Jose brought it to the forefront in front of the cameras. I wanted this player. They're not doing this for me. Blah blah blah. Which is these things like that. I mean, when's the last time, Tarek? You be honest. Anyone mentioned the board? Anyone mentioned, oh, they brought this player? You don't hear it anymore, do you? You don't hear
No.
it.
You only hear it when probably the last time was against Tottenham 6-1 when things were
Yeah.
negative. But for me personally, I think the board do get a lot of criticism, and I know they've put the club into a lot of debt and use the club to service profits, but they've also backed the club a lot as well. So it's not like they've not put the money where their mouth is, so to speak.
Yeah, see, this is the thing. I think it's one of those where if you actually take a step back, just look at the numbers in terms of the money spent compared to other clubs. Also, I don't have the figures here. I'm probably except for City, I'm guessing we probably spent the most. Do you know what I mean? Over there, if you look at the last like 5 to 7 years since Fergie's gone, maybe we probably spent the second or third most in the league. So you can't really, in that sense. But the problem is because you've had 4 managers in that time, and every manager wants a team in their image. Like, for example, we brought Lukaku in for, I think it was 70, 75 million.
Yeah.
Ali got him out the door. So that's 75 million that we've spent. That's not really had an impact on the team in terms of our current manager, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, definitely. What is it about Ale that's different to anyone else that we've had since Fergie?
I feel like he understands Man U. And I feel like he's like the spiritual son of Alex Ferguson. Honestly, I feel like that. When I see Ali, I just see so much of Ferguson in him. In the sense of, obviously, I mean, even if he reached half of what Alex Ferguson has achieved, that would be amazing. But I just see that tenacity, that never die spirit. The comebacks alone this season show that never die spirit in United. I think he's brought that back in. He's made it feel important to wear the shirt, to have that badge on. He's made them feel like it's everything. I mean, like the players he brings in, it's that mentality. Fernandez he's brought in his mentality. Obviously, he's a gifted player, but I feel like his mentality exceeds his physical abilities because he's, no, can't lose, never die, work hard. He's brought Cavani in. Look how hard Cavani works. That's what I like about Solskjaer. He brings players that have a similar mentality to him, that never die attitude, which is what I know. That's what I love about Ali.
Do you think, away from Man United fans, all the skeptic people that thought Ole was a bit of a joke, a caretaker manager, a PE teacher, do you think now that we're top, do you think he's slowly changing everyone's perspective out there to take him seriously?
Well, I'll be honest with you, Tarek. You say about fan base outside of United. I think there's a lot of fans inside the United fan base that thought he was a PE teacher and couldn't get the job done. And see, you know what kind of annoys me? See, there's still 1-2 fans out there that still say Ollie's not good enough. I want it out, and I actually respect those people more than the ones who now say, yeah, Ollie in. That's not how it works in football. Backing see, this is really annoys me that backing a manager isn't backing a manager when he's in first place. It's backing a manager when we're going through a rough patch. The same people that said, Ollie out when we lost to Tottenham are the same ones saying, yeah, Ollie at the wheel and all this now. No. I think he's one fan's over. Absolutely. He's top of the league. I mean, you'd be stupid enough not to look at it and not have a bit more respect for Ollie. But one point that is obviously quite consistent, that is out there that he needs to answer, is that kind of trophy semi-final kind of thing he's got lingering over. We have to understand this is only his second full season. There's still a lot of trophies to play for this season, so he could easily, win something. But I do think he does need to win something just to kind of prove that point and add to his resume.
Okay, that's a fair point. So we're going to go on to another thing now. Obviously, one of your favourite players, who is a world-class player, proven, but has probably had inconsistent periods at Man United, but he's probably playing his best football right now, Paul Pogba.
Yeah.
You've obviously been a massive Pogba fan within the group, you know, very passionate about Pogba. Based on his current form right now, would you say he's playing the best football he's played at Man United?
Yeah, I feel he has. Maybe there was a period under Mourinho. I think it was the 16-17 season. Was it 16-17? I can't remember. There's a period when we won the League Cup, Europa League. He was playing really, really good. Then I remember, but I think this probably tops that. He's playing amazing at the moment. There's been times in the game where we've just lacked the spark. Like the Fuller game, it was 1-1, but we didn't look like we were going to score. We just looked like we were looking a bit off this and that. Bam, moment of magic. Against Burnley, resolute defense. It was tough, couldn't get through. Bam, volley, Pogba. I feel like he's got that extra edge, something to take us from a great team to a world-class team potentially. Obviously, there's still a lot of work to get there, but I feel like he's the kind of player we need to build around. He's that his mentality. He's a proven winner. He's an elite mentality he has. I feel like we need to build around players like him to go to the next level.
What do you think? Obviously, when his agent come out a couple of months ago,
Yeah.
and his agent's obviously a bit of a poisonous character, which sometimes doesn't reflect well on Pogba. But since obviously all that came out, Pogba has literally been amazing. So what do you think has happened to Pogba to it's almost like his agent said that comment, and since then he's just took himself to another level? Do you think the penny's dropped with him? Do you think Solskjaer spoke to him, or do you think what do you think's happened?
But to be fair, if you got to look at it, before that comment, he wasn't in the team because he had COVID, and then he got injured. So he didn't really have a moment to prove his point. So it seems, I mean, even last season, I think a lot of people forget this, is that obviously we had that 3-month break because of lockdown, March to June. But when we come back in June, him and Fernandes were playing amazing together. They got us third with their play. Because remember, a lot of people can't play Pogba Fernandes together, can't play Pogba Fernandes, and they played them together. And we played amazing, and we got to third in the league. Semi-final Europa League, obviously just fell a bit short. But Pogba Fernandes was an important combination for that. So I feel like this kind of agenda going around of, Pogba doesn't. He's played really well this year. He's just been injury prone this year, which is obviously just one of them ones. He's getting a lot of injuries. But if you look at the year 2020, obviously, I know Fernandes had an amazing year. Because he's played more, he probably was player of the year. But if you look at the games played, Pogba has been amazing in 2020.
So to those fans, to those Man United fans, to those fans who don't support Man United and are massively critical about Pogba and about his time, obviously you look on Sky Sports and sometimes you'll see Jamie Carragher taking digs at Pogba. To those people who don't feel passionate or don't see Pogba in the same way you do, what do you say? To those people within our group, within even our WhatsApp group, that doubted Pogba, and to be fair, it wasn't so much a doubted his ability; it was more the attitude and the wanting out.
Yeah.
But now, what do you say to those people who are still thinking, well, he's played great for a month or two, but will he turn up in February? Will he turn up in March? But then he'll have a good May. Like, what do you say to those people?
I think Pogba, as I mentioned, his mentality is elite in the sense of he's a winner. He's a winner. I feel like when he's in a team not surrounded with winners, it drags him down. I honestly think like that. If he's in a team that will be happy to get fourth, and even if we don't win a cup, that's fine. Let's just get into the Champions League. I think you do not get the best out of Pogba. When you say to Pogba, look, we've got Fernandes here, we've got Rashford on fire. Do you know what I mean? We've got De Gea back on form. We're on top of the table. That's when you get the best out of Pogba, when he's motivated, when he's hungry. Because when he's like that, he's the best midfielder in the world by a mile, in my opinion.
Okay, fair enough. So you said obviously build the team around him. Obviously, we've got a better midfield than probably what we've had for years. What else do we need to do now as a team going forward? So obviously, it's unlikely we're going to sign anyone in this window. But come the summer, if Ole gets backed properly, what else do we need to do to take us to the next level, to get us to the knockout, to the Champions League, to get us consistently challenging again for the elite trophies?
Okay, I definitely think we need a proper central defensive midfielder. I think the stronger the central defensive midfielder is, the freer the reins Pogba will have to join up with Fernandes and Rashford and them guys up front to cause more damage. Because a lot of the big games now, which obviously Pogba's pushed wide,
Mhm.
um, which I think ruins the flow of the team kind of. And plus, also, not to be negative or critical of any players, I mean, at the moment we play Fred and McTominay and Matic as sort of the more, defensive-minded midfielders.
Yeah.
Matic is getting on now. He's got probably another year, if that, before his legs really start going. Do you know what I mean? So we can't really rely on Matic much more going forward. Fred is a hard worker. He works very hard. You can't doubt his passion and his energy. But I feel with Fred, he lacks a bit of quality that's needed in that role.
Mhm.
So I can't really rely on him. And McTominay, I see more McTominay of a box-to-box player in that sense. I think he's got more because his shooting's not too bad. He scored quite a few, got a couple of goals for us this season as well.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about a proper like a Matic, but just like the younger version. That's if I could get one player right now, I'll say go get me a proper CDM. That and a centre back, and then this is the issue now. Last year Martial was great. This year he's really dropped off. I don't know whether it's confidence or obviously he's really dropped off. Cavani's coming and obviously Cavani's doing very well. But once again, the same problem with Matic. I mean, what's Cavani got another year, if that? Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
And obviously, what I would do is I would move Greenwood central. I'll move Greenwood to the centre strike, give him the position he wants. His finishing is immaculate. I would never sell Greenwood. Um, he's an amazing talent. Obviously, the right wing is something that we need to sort out. I think it was mentioned before in our group about Wan-Bissaka and the right-hand side. When Wan-Bissaka does try to attack across the ball, he doesn't do too bad. He's actually okay. I don't know whether it's a confidence thing or maybe because he hasn't got an attacking natural right winger in front of him. I feel like he always hesitates at that last stage to push forward and he comes back a lot, which I think does frustrate the United fans a lot. But if I could pick now, it'd be CDM is highest priority. Second priority is a centre back. Third priority will be a right winger. Them three positions would say. I think we could start really looking at trophies.
Okay, that's fair enough. Out of the current squad, if you could
Yep.
get rid of anyone, okay, in this window, apart from the obvious ones like Jones and all the rest of it, like
Yeah.
Jones, Rojo, but out from the active players that are currently playing, okay, who would you get? Who would you sell? Who would you get rid of? Let's just say we get a fee for them. Who would you sell? Who in your mind isn't good enough for us to win a title?
Okay, I'll get rid of Brandon Williams.
Yeah.
I know he's been in the team for about a year or two now. I know he's not really first team. He hasn't given much of him, but I just don't see enough about him for me to think he's got that other level. So I'll get rid of Brandon Williams.
Yeah.
I was thinking get rid of. So obviously, a lot of these
you happy
players,
with the centre backs?
like Maguire, Lindelof, Bailly, and Twanzebe. Out of them four, I mean, they'll make decent squad players. Bailly, obviously, I'll keep Bailly for first team.
Yeah.
See, Bailly with Maguire's good enough for first team. Maguire with Lindelof, neither are good for first team. You see, I don't think Maguire is as bad. I mean, I've given him a lot of criticism. I'll be the first one to say at times I want to rip his head off. But I think him with a fast centre back shows that he's actually not a bad player. I think him with someone like Lindelof, he does struggle a bit.
Okay.
So I mean that's where it's a bit difficult.
What
There
about the
wouldn't be bad a second
midfielders?
team.
What about
Midfielders.
midfielders? If you had to chop,
I know this wouldn't be a popular opinion, but I would get rid of Fred. As I said, there's a lot of players out there that have energy. There's a lot of players out there that could run around in midfield. You could just go get another one of those. Fred's easily replaceable.
that's fair. And
As
what about the attackers?
the attackers, if I had to get rid of someone, I mean, you gotta look at it basically at the moment. It's Martial would be the first one gone, wouldn't he? He's just, I wouldn't want to, because I've seen last year that he does have that potential. But this year, he's just having a bad season. I wouldn't want to get rid of him, but if you're telling me I have to pick one, it'll be Martial.
Okay, fair enough. All right, so let's get on to the nitty and gritty. To those people, Hafeez, right,
Yeah,
that have an agenda, that have been critical of your comments, okay?
yeah,
Here you are, after all your
yeah,
predictions that you've made this season, Man United at
yeah,
the top of the league, Ole is doing it, you know, the Pogba agenda.
yeah.
What do you say to those people?
Don't be upset that I was right and you were wrong. Don't be upset. Be glad, because I predicted United to do well, and you predicted United to do terrible,
Yeah,
and I was right. So you should be saying, "Oh, thanks, Sophia. We stuck. We listened to you. We stuck by him, and look, we're getting the rewards now." Instead, people are getting angry. People are bringing up conversation from 3 months ago. Look, you said this. Why? What's the point? What's this going to achieve? I mean, I remember people used to put comments like, sorry, excuse me. People used to put comments like "pog poo" and stuff like that. I don't hear those comments no more, which is fine. It's good. I want you to
yeah,
back your players, but don't act like you're a hardcore. Yeah, I love Pog. Don't act like that now, because a couple of months ago, he was a bluffer. He was this. He was that. As I said, I'm not the kind of person to rub it in your face. I was right and you were wrong. It's simple. Just accept it. Um, and there's times where people have said, "Oh, you're the fake fan and you don't know anything about football." And one comment I always get from the older lot, especially in the group, is, "I'll be watching football when you were in nappies." Then you should remember how Ferguson had it when he first started. You should remember that more than I should.
yeah.
Then why didn't you do that for Ali? You're telling me that you know football more than me. Then why are you making the mistakes that somebody who just started watching football now is making? Come on, man, fix up, get your head in the game, man.
Do you think that football fans of like, so your brother's age, they've gone fickle?
Absolutely.
No, football
I
fans
don't
in
know.
general. Football fans in
I,
general. Do you think
I,
football?
I get what you football fans in general, but I feel more, and I don't know why, that these older lot have less patience with the team. And I really thought it'd be the opposite. I thought it'd be the younger lot who, oh, I just want a trophy, or I don't want to watch the game. Like, it's the older lot that are more like that. And I mean, I hear stuff like people call Ali the Neely man. This is Man United fans. Ali's the Neely man, and tactically he's clueless. He's a PE teacher. This is your manager. Well, I don't get it, Tariq. What's happened to supporting your manager? And I know everybody now will come out and say, we do support. You're saying it now because we're top of the league and we got Sheffield tomorrow. But if we were 10th in the league and we were going away to City, you wouldn't be saying that.
Hmm. So going forward now, does it, now that we are top of the league and we've got the success going on, does it frustrate you that you've now got those fans who jump on the bandwagon and pretend that they backed their manager, backed Pogba, they was there the whole time along, or do you see through that?
Um, I know who those people are. Trust me, I know who those people are. The ones that act like, I love Solskjaer, 99, you're bringing the glory days back, but really they hate him deep down. And those people, the next time we lose a game or two, they'll come back out. So I don't worry about them. But it is good in the sense of that even though it might not be all genuine love, the United fans are a bit more together now.
Mm.
United are doing well. Overall picture, all the self arguments aside, put that aside. United are doing much better now, top of the league. We're progressed to the fifth round of the FA Cup, so hopefully we could get a trophy in there. I know we're in the Europa League. I'd rather be in the Champions League. Uh, Something I want to say about that is I remember when we got knocked out the Champions League and people say this is a joke. We're Man United. We've been knocked out the Champions League 3 times in the last 6 seasons. So it's not like, oh wow, my God, you shouldn't be shocked. Fergie got knocked out 2012. Van Gaal got knocked out 2016, and we got knocked out this year. It's the third time in the last 9 seasons, so it's not like a shocking thing. At the moment, we probably were at Europa level.
Mm.
So I think people need to understand that. I know Ali got a lot of stick for getting knocked out. I know we lost that game against Istanbul, which was massive in the overall context of the group. I mean, I know that cost us big, but people need to take a step back. Whenever we get a loss, whenever, you know what I mean. I mean, even when we go 1-0 down in games, you see people in the group, oh, this is what I mean. Oh, United now can't, oh, we can't string 2 passes together. It's a 90-minute game. And with any team, it's United. You should understand it's a 90-minute game. Do you know what I mean?
That's fair enough. That's a fair point. And to be fair, in the Champions League, we had two teams that got to the semi-final last year, so we were playing against elite teams as well. So that's a fair point. So you made some great predictions a couple of months ago. I'm now going to put you on the spot. So predict to me in your crystal ball, Hafeez. Okay, where do you think? If we're having this conversation now in June this year or May, whenever the season finishes, where do you see United? What do you see us achieving?
I think we will end with a trophy. Whether it's the league, I'm not sure. I feel confident that the FA Cup or Europa League, I think Ollie will be very determined to get at least one of those two trophies so we can start building that up with this current team and building their confidence and, turning them into proper winners. In terms of the league, the only team that can stop us is Man City. Liverpool probably will start getting it together, but I think we'll create enough of a gap, we'll stay ahead of them. Leicester, I feel, will fall off. Spurs, they won't get up there. I think it's between United and City. If you're asking me right now, do I think Man United will win the league this season? I'm saying yes, Tariq. It's one of those seasons. It's one of those years. United have they've clicked. They've just clicked since that Tottenham game. Something's happened to them, and they've clicked. And I honestly think with everything that's going on, it's just one of those years. I just see Ollie lifting the trophy in May. Honestly.
Fair enough, mate. Fair enough. I hope you're right as well, bro. I hope you're right as well. All right, so we're gonna round this off with a couple of predictions. So, how do you see tomorrow's game going?
You know what? It's gonna be harder than you think. It's all I'm telling you. Sheffield are those teams that are a bit doggy, that are a bit physical, similar to Burnley game. And we always, it's a bit more tougher for us to get going. I still think we'll win. I think we'll have enough about us. I'll go with 2-0 United, but it won't be like a classic vintage display. I think it'll be very tough.
Okay, and then once that game is out of the way, we've got Arsenal at the weekend. So Arsenal have been they hit a bit of a good piece of form, but then they've lost a couple more recently. I think they've confirmed. Is it Martin Odegaard from Real Madrid on loan? Is that
yes,
gone
they
through?
have, yeah.
Okay, obviously Ozil's
gone.
gone. How do you see that game going? Obviously injuries and everything aside, going away to the Emirates, no fans really, but obviously they beat us 1-0 earlier on the season, but now we've got the form with us. How do you see that game going?
I think it will be a lot more tougher, that game, that Arsenal game especially. Even though Arteta, I know he hasn't done much in his career, tactically he's quite clued up. I think with the squad he's got, he's very limited in terms of how far he can take that Arsenal team, and I think he knows that. I think Aubameyang is out at the moment.
Yeah.
Something about a divorce with his wife or something like that. I think that'll be important. Do I think we'll win? I'll be honest with you. I think it'll be a draw, that Arsenal game. I just feel like Arsenal always seem up for it when we play them. Our recent record against them, I don't think we've beaten them much recently. Even last season, we lost away and we drew at home, so we haven't beaten them for at least close to 2 years now. I'm thinking that game will be a draw.
Okay, that's fair. I think the last time I remember us beating, it might have been the FA Cup when we beat him or something. And I think it was Ole's first season, wasn't it? Or that when he came in just after Christmas.
That was 2019, January, 2 years ago.
So, geez, yeah. So coming on. Okay, so last question for you, Hafeez. Okay, so Man United, Man United lifelong fan. All right, so obviously Ole's at the wheel now. But for you, okay, talk to me about a couple of highlights in your life as a Man United fan. So I'm going to say, give me the three happiest moments that you've had as a Man United fan.
Okay, Champions League against Chelsea. That was amazing. When Terry stepped up, I thought it was gone. I thought it was over. The captain of their team's going to score against us. Oh, we could have been champions of England, champions of Europe. And then he slipped. And then you just knew it. Even though when he slipped, we hadn't won the game. You knew deep down we got him at that moment. That moment was amazing, that Terry slip. Another great moment was probably the Makeda goal against
Aston Villa.
I think it was a season against Aston Villa.
Yeah.
2-2. Makeda came on. Nobody had a clue who he was. He spun the defender. It was a perfect camera angle. He was just behind the Makeda strike. You just saw it curling. Madness, crazy, screaming, running around the house. That was an amazing moment. Another great moment. I mean, recently there hasn't really been. You know what? It's probably the PSG game. PSG,
Nice.
that Rashford penalty, because that was dead and buried. Lost 2-0 at home. United had injuries, suspension. Ali was still an interim manager at the time. Obviously, as I said, they beat us 2-0. They had Mbappe, Neymar. They were going to their ground, and the impossible happened. So them's the other ones that stick out in my head at the moment. Yeah, probably.
Okay, okay. And this one is more for our WhatsApp group. So
Yeah,
taking me and you aside out of it, who would you say in our WhatsApp group? Okay, so we've got about 6 or 7 characters in there. Who would you say is the most clued up, the most rational of the fans?
Cox, by a mile. Don't have to think about it. Cox,
Okay.
by absolutely. He speaks sense. He has understanding of the situation. He doesn't overreact. That's what I like about Cox. Even there's a lot of stuff I disagree with Cox, but when I listen to him, I think, okay, you made a few good points there, and he doesn't overreact at all, and I love that about him.
Okay. Who would you say is the most fickle?
Mr. Fickle himself, Daniel. Come on, you know that. I actually took some screenshots today. Now, I'm not going to post them in the group yet. I'm going to post them at the end of the season.
Okay.
I took some screenshots because just to prove a point, where he made comments in September and October about Ollie, about the team, about the players. I think you remember some of them where he predicted we'll finish, what he thought of the players, a lot of the stuff. I remember asking him at that time, like, this is what you think. Are you sure? He goes, 100% about a certain player. I will never change my opinion. This is what it's like. Even if he comes back and does well, I don't care. 3-4 months down the line, trust me, he's changed his opinion. So Jam is 100% Fickle. Even if United lose tomorrow, you watch what he says. If we lose tomorrow, I promise you.
Fair enough, mate. Okay, so we've got Tux as the smartest, we've got Jam as the most fickle. Okay, we'll end it on that, mate. That. So that was a great interview, man. So cheers for your feedback, and we'll hopefully get you back on again at some point.
Now, thanks for having me, Tarek. Appreciate
No worries,
it.
mate. No worries. All right, good chatting, bro.
Cheers. Bye.
See you in a bit, mate.